Do you tend to listen to your body's signs and signals, or do you tend to live up there in your head? In this video, I'll share 7 ways that you can start to tune in to the story your body has to tell. For all things yoga, body image, and thought work coaching, subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit that bell to get notified when I post a new vlog each Wednesday and a new yoga practice each Friday. Hi there, I'm Tanya Neely, a registered yoga teacher with extensive training in yoga psychology, a master's in education, and I am passionate about helping women move from feeling uncomfortable in their own skin and stuck in negative self-talk to feeling really at home in their bodies and empowered to create a life that truly glows. I do all this through the tools of yoga. Join me today to learn 7 ways you can start listening to your body. Let's do this together. Listening to your body. It's one of those cues I often give in my yoga class. It's important to understand your limits and prevent injury, and also to push yourself when you've got a little bit more to give, as well as to rest when you're tired and eat when you're hungry, and so much more. It's also one of those things that's really easy to say and not so easy to do. We have spent a lot of time learning how not to listen to our own bodies, whether those are messages about pushing down or avoiding our feelings. Boys don't cry, hide your crazy, suck it up. Perhaps you were part of a clean your plate family. Maybe you've dealt with traumatic experiences like war or abuse that you simply couldn't deal with, and so you shut down in preservation. Perhaps you have been dealing with stress for so long that you simply have forgotten what feeling tired feels like, or that chronic pain and poor digestion are not the norm. There are a lot of ways our bodies speak to us in an effort to maintain some kind of balance and a homeostasis or a level of health. Here are 7 ways that you can start tuning in to the story your body has to tell. If work life, parent life, school life have you running around all day, you probably aren't paying too much attention to your body at all. There is a lot of power in a simple pause. It gives your body and your mind time to integrate and for messages to go from the brain to the body as well as from the body to the brain. It also helps us develop a greater sense of awareness about ourselves. One way to do this is to intentionally pause halfway through something that you're doing. So, for example, an exercise routine, a meal, a yoga sequence, whatever it may be, stop, pause, get quiet. Set a timer if you need to. Then simply pause for 2 to 5 minutes to check in with yourself. Check in with yourself physically. How am I feeling? Am I tired? Do I need a rest? Can I push a little harder? Am I already full? How are you feeling emotionally? Can you name the emotions that you're feeling? Now, how do they feel in your body? Metacognition is a fancy term for thinking about thinking, knowing about knowing, or becoming aware of one's awareness. It's really a popular tool to use in education and public school systems in terms of reading comprehension, and it's a fantastic tool to use on yourself to get to know more about yourself. Making our thinking audible, otherwise known as talking aloud or talking to yourself, is a really great way to helps us to consciously monitor and reflect on what we're thinking, doing, or experiencing. Now, quick parent tip, if you start to do this in front of your children, verbalizing your thoughts about your feelings and your emotions, you're going to be a really great role model to help them learn to become more meta as well. So not only are they going to be able to understand themselves, their emotions, and their bodies that much better, they're going to be able to talk with you and communicate with you that much better about what's going on with them as well. Win-win in my book. Most of us are inundated with sound for most of the day, whether it's notifications, traffic, radio, kids, colleagues, the ever-present hum of our electronic devices. And that's not to mention the inner chatter that's going on in our heads throughout most of the day. Estimates put our thought count at between 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. It may seem really hard to find time to be silent in your day, but I guarantee even 3 to 5 minutes can make a huge difference. Those few minutes allow you to choose where you place your attention rather than let life choose for you. Wherever you may be, you can shut down the sounds around you and start to tune in to yourself. A great way to use this time of silence is to start with a simple body scan, beginning at the top of the head and moving your way down the body. Notice any areas in the body where you might have some holding patterns or tension or gripping. Really frequently, the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, and the shoulders tend to come way up, as well as the abdomen. When you come across them, simply release it, relax, take a deep breath, and keep going. Yep, this is where I'm going to invite you to write it down. Doesn't matter where you put it. Use a journal, use a Google Doc, use an app. What matters is you are making your pattern visible to yourself. It's difficult to understand what to do about a situation until you actually understand the situation thoroughly, and that includes your body. If food is your focus, record what you eat, when you eat, and why you eat. Meaning, was it just time to eat? Did the clock say so? Did you actually feel hungry? Was something else provoking it? If your focus is stress, write down when you feel it, how it feels in your body, and what triggers it. Starting to get to know your patterns will help you listen to your body that much more. Making them visible is the first step. If you're a creature of habit, like most of us are, you're really used to your body feeling a certain way. You might be used to grabbing a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. because you tend to start to feel tired. Or maybe you're just in the habit of grabbing a cup of coffee. You might be used to tight hamstrings because you're running 5 to 10 miles a week. You also could be used to eating the same foods and no longer really tasting them because you're simply in the habit of grabbing the same things all the time. Trying a new exercise, going to a different instructor's yoga class, checking out a new restaurant, all of these things allow you to start to create some space to notice a difference between the habit and something new. You might notice that you don't feel as bloated after having something that has more vegetables in it. Maybe your stride lengthens naturally after taking a yoga class. You really love licorice tea and never knew it because you hadn't tried it before. The point is, new equals heightened awareness. It's really easy to override your body's natural hunger response when you time your meals or you're eating by the clock. All too often we're obliged to eat at a certain time when we can take a break from work. Maybe we're eating en route to someplace in our cars, or we simply are trying to make meals work around our busy schedules. If the clock says it's time to eat, but you don't actually feel hungry, try having a glass of water or taking a little walk. It's normal to feel hungry 3 to 5 hours after a meal. Pay attention to what your body's hunger signs and signals really are. Maybe that's a grumbling or rumbling in the stomach. Maybe that's a feeling of low energy or a shakiness after a certain point. Or maybe that's a feeling of emptiness in the stomach. Let yourself really feel and experience those before you sit down to a meal. You'll start to build your intuition as to what your body needs, how much it actually needs, and when you're really hungry or thirsty. Did you predict that was coming? Well, yoga is a practice after all, and there's a reason it's called a practice and not a perfection. Our bodies are ever changing throughout the course of our entire lives. Our present situation will always change. We may move to a new state, never move at all, get married, not get married, have kids, not have kids, experience some kind of pain or loss or trauma. All throughout our life, our physical body is changing right along with all of those life situations. To continue to be attuned to our body and to listen to it really well, understand its signs and signals, we have to practice. This is one of those moments where I am going to sound like my father. It's all practice. This is an ongoing practice of mindfulness throughout our entire lives. Know that you will never ever perfect it, but that's not the point anyway. Join me next week to learn how to move from judgment about your body to curiosity. And if you haven't already, grab that free body image quiz in the description below. It'll help give you an idea of where you're at right now and where you might like to go next. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this landed for you, if there was something that really resonated for you, or there was just one tool that you think you could put into practice today, comment below and let us know. Please consider liking and subscribing to this channel so that you don't miss a beat. Come on back here on Friday for a great yoga practice together. And if you know a woman or a man who struggles with body image or listening to their body, please consider sharing this video and this channel with them so they can become a part of this growing community and this important conversation. As always, the light in me sees you and honors the light in each and every one of you. I'll see you on Friday. Namaste.